Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and a lot of you saw that horrible situation that happened in McKinney, Texas, with that officer putting his knees on that little girl's back, and you also saw what happened afterward, where the legal system once again didn't do what it should do for Black people. But anyway, to get some insight into this, I was introduced to a young woman that I think would be is an excellent source of information for what happened to her in what happened in McKinney. Her name is Miss Kimberly Cole. She runs KCole Law PLLC, and I want to welcome Miss Cole. How you doing today, sister?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and I want everybody to know that because we're communicating via Uvu, there's maybe a 1 or 2 second delay in when we're talking. So, but it'll be fine. We're not gonna we don't argue around here. We don't talk over each other, so it'll be easy. Okay, so Ms. Cole, I want to first start and just start from the beginning in terms of what I know about you as an attorney, and then we'll kind of move into McKinney. You went to Howard University Law School. You have a how can I say this? A desire to help alleviate the racial injustice in this country to the point where you committed your life to this, and you ended up getting involved in the McKinney case. Can you kind of give us a little bit of the backdrop in terms of how you kind of eased into the case and how you got involved?
Certainly. I actually participated in the march that took place after the assault on the teens from the party, and I participated in the march and met a gentleman who founded the Next Generation Action Network, which is a local civil rights organization. It's a small but growing group, and became actively involved with that organization. And earlier this year, he reached out to me and wanted me to speak with the family regarding this case, and that's how I got on board.
Okay, and so for what I have read, again, I'm still being educated on the case and what happened here. The officer involved in the case was named Eric Casebolt, and the latest that most of our viewers have heard is that he was not indicted for what happened, which I don't know about other people, but I was absolutely furious. Not just about the non-indictment, but also, about what happened on that video. I was so mad that I literally imagined in my head going down there and beating that man to death. Because there's something about this little tiny girl being attacked by this officer in that way that as any kind of real man with daughters, like I got daughters, can't watch that video without being infuriated. Just furious.
Right.
So, I don't. In fact, as the more I think about it, the madder I get. So I can't even frame my question properly because I'm just thinking about this. Can you please help us understand, after what we saw in that video, what on God's green earth would lead any jury of sane human beings to think that there shouldn't be an indictment?
I think that my own personal opinion is it's the same thing that leads them to not indict in numerous other cases. And it is basically the fact that they don't hold the police accountable at the same level that they would hold an average citizen. It is sickening to me. And as disappointed and as infuriated as I was not the least bit surprised by the decision. Not at all.
So let me ask you this. So Attorney Cole, do you think that there was something unique about Texas that would lead them to and the funny thing is that an indictment is not even a high standard, right? It's not like a conviction. It's nowhere near a conviction. It's just basically saying, okay, we think that there's enough evidence here to kind of proceed with the process. They're literally saying to the public, go away, folks. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Nothing happened here. Just a black girl with a big white man with his knees in her back for no reason. No, I mean, really, it's flabbergasting. So how much do you think of this non-indictment is specific to Texas? Because we know that Texas has this horrible history when it comes to race. I mean, it's not a coincidence that they had so many black slaves and now they have so many black prison inmates. How much of this do you think is unique to Texas versus just, a symptom of a nationwide problem in our justice system?
I think it is a symptom of a nationwide problem. The same day that this no bill was issued, the Freddie Gray decision came down. It is a symptom of a horrible problem, and it sets a very dangerous precedent. The police are not held accountable, and they are supposed to enforce the law, yet they are not accountable to the law. They are not held to the standard that a normal person would be held to. And I hear people say, oh, she was unruly and she was mouthy and she didn't do what he said. Here's the deal. If my own child, was unruly and mouthy and didn't do what I said, and I grabbed him by his arm or his hair and slammed him on the ground and then sat my knee in his back and on his neck, I would go to jail. I would be charged with the crime and I would go to jail. No questions asked. Why aren't the police at least held to the same standard as the general public? In my opinion, they should be held to a higher standard. Because, they are public servants and they are required to enforce the law. So to me, you should have a unique understanding of the law and you should be held to a much higher standard. But they're not even held to the standard of a normal citizen.
Wow. It's real interesting, and a lot of people say this, and I say this as the son of a police officer. My father was, he served for 25 years. And that's why I don't align with anybody who thinks every police officer deserves to die or every police officer is a horrible person. Because people say that until they need the police to come to their house because something has happened. So I just reject the idea of just sort of indicting every cop, as being part of this grand idea of oppressing black people. However, we do know that they're part of a system, and there is that blue line is real. This idea that officers, it's funny you talk about officers, some people say officers should be held to at least the same standard as the rest of us. Some think they should be held to a higher standard as the rest of us. And what you're implicitly saying is that they're actually held to a lower standard because they are, elevated above everyone else, right? We sort of have this idea that officers cannot lie, that, officers are always good, that officers don't abuse their power. And anybody who thinks that way doesn't understand the police force. They don't understand how many lunatics apply for that gun and that badge because they want to go around and beat the hell out of people and attack people and do horrible things. And so, and you can't help but see that racial divide, when they go in front of this jury of all these people who have no concept of police being abusive. It's almost like, it makes me even think about, and I'll ask you the next question because I don't want to do all the talking, but it makes me think about when our soldiers occupy a foreign country. The American perception of the soldier is very different from, say, the Iraqi who was raped by an American soldier or who was beaten by, right? And all the Americans are thinking is thank you so much for keeping us safe. But the Iraqis are thinking, we don't even want you here because of all these horrible things you're doing. And I feel like that's kind of what happens with black people. We are an occupied force. Even during Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, the whole story that was being written in the paper as this massacre is occurring, as they're slaughtering black people, the story is that these brave white men have gone to the black neighborhood to control the chaos that's being caused by all these radical, crazy Negroes, and people will believe that, right? So I want to ask you this. Let's talk about this beautiful sister who went through this unfortunate incident. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Is it Jajaria? How do I say her name?
Jajaria.
Jajaria. How is she doing?
Sorry. She is, she's making it. She's making it. This, you indicated that you have daughters, and so you'll understand and appreciate the fact that adolescence is a very fragile time. I mean, it's a very difficult time for a young lady, and to have something like this occur in front of the entire country was devastating. All of the social backlash, all of the negative and racist, vile things that people were saying about her took its toll. And it has damaged her tremendously. Her physical, wounds have healed. However, this has scarred her. And the worst thing is, we raise our children to, have certain basic fundamental beliefs about life, that, life is good and that people are kind. And if you're ever in trouble, call the police. The police will help you. This isn't true. She received a rude, cold, hard slap in the face. And if she's ever in trouble, who does she call? Who's she supposed to call?
Well, that's it actually, what you're saying reminds me of what a young black man said to me. He's about 21 years old, and we were talking about the police, and he said, when I see the police, I run. And I said, well, why do you run if you didn't do anything wrong? He said, because he said, they could do anything to you and then lie on you, and people are going to believe them, so we just run when we see the cops, so I want to ask you this. You, this young sister, Miss Becton, that's her last name. She is, this ain't over yet. So now that Mr. KCole has been assumed innocent somehow, he hasn't been indicted. This case is not over for you all. You're actually going to fight back. You're in the process of engaging in significant legal action. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. Certainly. I am preparing to file on Monday a civil rights suit as well as a state suit against Mr. KCole, as well as the city of McKinney. Good.
And it's so ironic that McKinney was actually rated as one of the of America's best places to live, which is, this is kind of a black eye for that city. Has the city at all been responsive in terms of it being helpful at all to what you're trying to do here?
Absolutely not. I have received no response whatsoever. From my understanding, her previous counsel did not receive any response whatsoever. Ironically, the city has planned a meeting Monday evening to supposedly get past this. No. They're unfinished business. This is like a hit and run. Like you hit somebody and you left them on the side of the road disabled, and now you're like, okay, let's just move past this. Let's heal. No, what? You need to go back and fix this.
So this meeting,
as best you can.
So I'm curious. So this meeting, are you and Ms. Becton invited to this meeting, or is this something that they're holding?
The entire city. Really? The entire city of McKinney is invited to the meeting. All citizens are welcome. McKinney is the best place in the U.S. to live. And, they want to keep that reputation, and they want to make an effort to move past this. So I will be in attendance, and I will be taking a copy of my lawsuit. Because to me, you can't heal from this. The city can't heal from this until you make this right. as best you can, because she will never be the same. She will never be the same. But as best you can, at least acknowledge that she was harmed. Apologize. I mean, something. Something. But there's no moving past this. You haven't even acknowledged that you harmed people. You harmed people. You harmed children. And there's no moving past this until you address it.
Wow. Isn't it funny how, whenever we're the victims of racial injustice, people just want to move past it? Can't we just put the past behind us? They're still saying that about slavery and Jim Crow.
Of course. Just forget about slavery. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
And we still see.
You know
we
what?
still see.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sis. I apologize.
No, I was going to say, they say move past slavery, but we still see the effects of it today. Absolutely. We still see the effects of it today.
Absolutely. Well, I will say that before you move past something, you have to make it right. It's only common sense. I can't go and harm somebody, beat them up, steal their money or something like that, and then immediately turn around and say, let's move past this. No, I have to give them the money back. I have to pay a price for what I did. And logic applies here. And I think that they understand this as well. And I'm just happy that she has somebody like yourself to fight for her. We're all fighting and with you and rooting for you. And I want to know, if I can ever be of assistance and support in this legal battle, you've got my phone number. So, or I don't know if you have it, but you'll have it after we're done talking. And I want you to go win this. I want you to go win this battle for all of us. And when, as it goes on or when you're done, if you'll come back and grace us with your presence again, I would certainly appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will gladly do it. And I certainly appreciate your support. That's very important in cases like this, that the community expresses that this is not acceptable. And I think, obviously the police want to sweep this under the rug and make it all nice and pretty and just walk away. But you left a battered, bruised little girl in your wake.
That's right.
And I'm not walking away. Not walking away.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love it. I love it. And that's what our community's job is to do. That's what we do as adults. We protect our kids. You're not going to beat up and attack our kids and have us not come back and respond appropriately. And so everything you're doing is great, and I applaud it. And I want to say thank you once again for joining us. And I certainly wish you the best in this case.
Thank you. Get the word out.
Yes, ma'am, I certainly will. Oh, everybody's going to see this video. I'll make sure of that. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, everybody watching. Don't forget, this is Miss KCole. She runs KCole PLLC, a law firm in Dallas. So if you're in the Dallas area, show the sister some love, shoot her an email, do some business with her, support her in this cause. If there's a rally, anything happens down there, I hope you guys will show up and lend your support because this fight ain't over, and they're gonna know that Black people are unified, and we are going to protect our children no matter what it takes. So thank you all for checking us out. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Once again, Miss KCole from KCole Law PLLC. Make sure I say that right. And until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.